hey everybody. We are in the Zoom together, but I've asked you guys to come into Canvas and click the YouTube link. So this is a video that I've asked you guys to take notes on. Remember, take all the notes all the way thoroughly through. You'll submit them, and those are your points. Whatever grade you can get by May 1st, I can change your grade last semester as you see that we're doing some reviews and some different things, okay? If you fall behind in the video at all, just simply pause it and get caught up. So this is going to be about a 20-25 minute video, but I'm going to give you guys about 35 minutes or so to, take everything down before we come off of this and we start looking at the assignment together. You're going to have plenty of time to do the assignment. That's one of my goals, is for you to take advantage of time in class. I'm going to be calling you guys out a lot more, or checking on you guys a lot more verbally to see if you're in the Zoom and see if you're there, instead of just walking out of the room, leaving the house, or whatever it might be. All right? So let's go ahead and get the notes ready right now. Separate sheet of paper, of course, or however you take your notes. And we're looking at IM1. Today is January 13th. And we're going to do our solving equations review. So hopefully you already have your paper out and you're copying it down, because I asked you to do it just before I told you to come here. Okay? All right. You are going to be allowed to use your calculator. Remember, I'm going to put the steps down to solving the equations. I want to see if you know the steps and how to do it and execute and get the answer. And if you want to add or subtract or multiply or divide and you are not that great at it or whatever, then use the calculator to guide you along. I don't want you to miss problems because of mathematical errors, arithmetic errors, okay? So this review is to see if you know how to present and do the 5 steps in order. And so that's what we're going to do. We'll do about 3 examples together. But let's go ahead and refresh ourselves on the rules. I'll kind of write them together with you so you can write them with me. And then once again, I'll give you just a little bit of time, but you can always pause the video. So here we go. So I said that we have broken this down into 5 steps to solve an equation. I'm going to look while you write that down, see if I got another black marker. Okay, so here we go with steps 1 and 2. Sorry, I was going to do something different. So here's step 1. This is our first question. Anytime you see an equal sign in a problem, we're going to say, do I have parentheses? Do I have parentheses? Okay. And then let's write this, because it's a question's either yes or no. It's not a maybe. Okay, do you see brackets or do you see parentheses? So 1 So if yes, distributive property. And on number 2, go to step 2. So if yes, distributive property. If no, go to step 2. All right, so be writing that down. Pause if you need to. But I'm going to go ahead and move to step 2. Combine like terms on the same side of the equation. Okay? Combine like terms on the same side of the equation. You'll see that once again in the examples. That's not doing the opposite. That's simply combining like terms like we do in the beginning of August when we start. Combine like terms on the same side of the equation. Step 3. Move variable terms to one side. And most of us are comfortable moving the variable terms to the left, and then we're going to put the number terms to the right, right? So we'll write that in step 4. So variable terms are letters. And then, of course, step 4, dropping a lot of things. Move number terms to the other side. Move number terms to the other side. And that is the right. And these are the notes that remember that you're always going to want to have and be able to keep as we're doing, as you come across this. Okay? Same procedure, same process every time. Once again, pause if you need to get caught up and write that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and move into 5. And so here we go. Multiply and divide. Both sides by the exact same number that is with the variable. you know that I like to underline the key words in the problem. Okay, I know some of you are keeping a good pace, so I'll just kind of wait for a few seconds so you can keep the continuity of the video going. I'll say this for the third time, and I'm going to probably do a little bit more YouTube videos this semester, so you guys, if you're absent, you can maybe refer to this. We'll just see how this kind of goes with the class and timing and everything. But pause if you're going to write it. If I'm ever going too fast, pause, because remember, this is not live, we are on tape. And I'm trying to make it as much of a live presentation as I can. Okay? So go ahead and clean that up real quick. Alright, so of course you're going to pause if you're not done, because I'm going to erase this all out, and I said I wanted to do 3 examples with you guys tomorrow. They'll be the harder examples. We're not going to really do the simple stuff. So let me take this out. All right, here we go. So let's do 8x minus 18 equals negative 4x plus 42. We want to solve for x. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and solve for x. And remember, one of the things I like to do you don't have to do this when you solve the problems, but I do want to do it in my examples today. So we're going to do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but a little different than last semester is where I used to talk about this wall, about steps 1 and 2. And so basically what I'm saying is most of our problems, as we do our 5 steps, we're cleaning up the left-hand, right-hand side. We're not crossing anything over, okay? And so as we answer the questions, we'll see, are we working on the same side, combining like terms, distributive property, what we first learned in August? Or are we starting to move variables left, numbers on the right? So let's take a look at this right here. Step 1, do I have any set of parentheses in this problem? And the answer is no. Step 2, are there like terms on the same side? Left-hand side, nothing to combine. Right-hand side, nothing to combine. And we're already at step 3 in this problem. And I want to remind you, you can use, as we do the math here, you can use the calculator. Watch your signs, use the calculator, because I only want to know, do you know how to do the steps? All right, so step 3, move the variable term to the other side, okay, and usually to the left. So this is where we start working our opposites. Because basically I need to, the opposite of negative 4x is positive 4x. So this is where we're doing our opposite signs. And of course our goal is to clean that up, is to eliminate that. So I get 12x minus 18 equals 42. 12x minus 18 equals 42. Step 3 is done. Step 4, number term to the opposite side, which will usually be to the right. Remember, you guys can cross it, you can go the other way. Those of you that are really good at seeing positive numbers. But we're going to add 18 to both sides. So step 4 is always adding the number terms if you're following the 5 steps. And so we get 12x equals 60. And then step 5 is multiply or divide by the exact same number that is with the variable. Not opposites, right? The exact same number. That is what step 5 is. Remember that crosses out to 1, not 0. And so I get x equals 5. So I think the answer is x equals 5. That's your guess. You're guessing that you did everything right. Of course, I provide you with answers to make that a very quick check. But if I told you that I wanted you to prove it to me, okay, without looking at the answer, you would plug back in and do order of operations. So if I told you you had to do it on your own, which I'm not going to, is for a review, you would guess and check. And if you plugged in, you would get 22 equals 22, and you'd be ready to go. And step 5 usually yields our answer. All right, so follow through with that. If you've got pace, go ahead and you're ready for me to do the next problem. If you need to jot some things down, then you're going to pause. But let's go ahead. We're going to go right into example number 2. Times, parentheses, negative 2x plus 3 minus 18 equals negative 36. So let's go ahead and get this problem going. So we're going to go ahead and do the 5 steps together and see if we can end up finding the number, there's only one number, x, if it exists, that when you plug it and do all our operations, left and right hand side will match. Step 1, do I have parentheses? Absolutely. If you have different colors, I think this really shows up in your notes later on. Notice, remember, as I do my loops, I point to the signs so I don't forget. And if I do the problem, now we're going to multiply. I get negative 20x plus 30 minus 18 equals negative 36. The problem may look intimidating in the very beginning, but it's not so intimidating, when we get to the end. So, step 1 is done. And remember, as soon as I kind of got into step 1, I maybe should have done this, but remember what I like to do. I like to build this wall to make sure that I don't start moving things to the other side. And what I'm about to do is where the number 1 mistake comes up. I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm going to warn you guys about it. But step 2 says combine like terms on the exact same side of the equation. X's with X's, numbers with numbers. And so the X has no one to go with, so it's negative 20x. And this is the part where when you first start solving equations, this is kind of the rookie mistake that we make, right? Someone right now is thinking, am I supposed to add 18 to here and here? I thought we're supposed to do the opposite. And remember, that is step 3. When we move from one side to the other, and step 4, when we move from one side to the other, that's when we start doing opposites. This is just old-fashioned. What is 30 minus 18? And 30 minus 18 is a positive 12. So we got negative 20x plus 12 equals negative 36. So that's the end of step 1 and 2. The wall is gone. Step 3, put all your variable terms on one side. Hey, they're already on one side. There's no x over here. So that is step 3. Step 4, if your variables are on the left, take positive 12 and move it to the right. All right, keep going with me here. Negative 20x equals negative 48. So there is step 4. And step 5, I'm running out a little bit of room, but we can fit in step 5. So step 5 says multiply or divide by the exact same number. So we're going to do this in the next week. I don't know if you'll see it on the first assignment, but remember, not everything works out nice in our life for perfect numbers. There are fractions and decimals. And this is the other reason why I want you to have the calculator, is we're going to do negative 48, make sure I watch my sign, divided by negative 20, and I'm going to hit the equals button, and I get x equals 2.4. So decimals and fraction answers are allowed. This could actually be a fraction answer. If you punch it in as a fraction into your stuff, you would get 12 over 5. You would get 12 over 5. But decimal answers are fine for us right here. And I think we're pretty much right with the problem right here. Okay? I don't think I made a mistake. I better look before I tell you guys I just did a whole problem on YouTube. And we were at, so there's my negative, positive. That goes over there. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. All right, let me take a look at the time here. And we're at 27. Okay. Well, I said we're going to do 3 examples, but I think this is a good process. I'd rather help you guys on your assignment. So this is going to give us now about an hour to go ahead and do the assignment that says solving equations. I kept it to 10 problems. And like I said, I expect to be having dialogue with you. I expect to be asked for help, and I'll be checking on you regularly to see if you're even in the Zoom, and may tell you to take off your camera and show me your paper to see that you're working on it. All right? We're going to have a totally different semester here because your incentive is, for those of you who struggle, the grade I have on May 1st, Mr. Martin will change to the grade I have for first semester also if I did really credit. All right? Okay, so pause where you need to. As I said before, welcome back. I am live in the Zoom, so you're just going to come out of this. You're going to be back in the Zoom with me. And that's it, guys. Let's get to work for another hour. Thanks.